Hey guys, NastyNate again with another StarCraft 2 commentary. One thing I forgot to mention in my last commentary was that I actually changed my StarCraft 2 name to Ghost. Um, it's not a reference to StarCraft 2 Ghost. Actually, my team is the University of Nevada, Reno, and we have the sigil of the wolf for our team. Well, our school actually is the wolf. We're called the Wolf Pack. And me and some of my friends on the team decided that it would be really cool to take on the names of the direwolves from a book series called The Song of Ice and Fire, which is a really good, awesome series. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Essentially, it's Lord of the Rings with more politics and moral ambiguity and unromanticized sex, which is always awesome. So I highly recommend that book series if you haven't read it. It's by George R. R. Martin, I believe. It's called Song of Ice and Fire. First book has actually been made into a TV series called The Game of Thrones, which they're continuing, and I cannot wait to watch the rest of that series and read the last books because all the books in the series have not yet been written. There's currently 5 books in the series, and there's supposed to be a total of 7 by the end of the series. So I'm looking forward to those coming out. Hopefully they won't take too long. But they probably will because it's taken about 30 years, I think, to write the first 5 books. Maybe that's wrong. That could be way off. I'm just trying to think back, but I don't know. Anyways, I'll start talking about this game now because we're here for StarCraft, not books. um, Me and EpicNine, my teammate here, he's our best player, having a few practice games, which is really fun. I have a lot of fun practicing against him because he's better than I am, and I can learn some things playing against him as Protoss. So it looks like I'm going to be stealing that expansion there, denying that Nexus from going down, which I really like doing when Protoss move out and try to be all clever with their Forge Fast expands and their... I don't know what he's doing now. I didn't even know this was here this entire game. I guess maybe he cancelled it or something? Yeah. I guess I might have seen that actually. Let's have a look. I don't know if I would have seen that or not actually. It was a close one. I might have been able to sneak that in there. Put some cannons down or something, but looks like he just wants to take his Exo instead, so he's going to be doing that. Anyways, I wanted to finish what I was saying about my name is Ghost, and 2 of my teammates are called, let's see, Grey Wind is one of them, and the other one is Nymeria, which is the only girl on our StarCraft team, which is cool. So she took the female, one of the female direwolf names, which is pretty awesome. Anyways, that's all we have so far. We're hoping some of our other teammates will jump on the bandwagon and pick up the other names. However, it sounds like all the other direwolf names aren't very popular. The other 2 are... Let's see, there are 2? There's 3 more. Yeah, there's 3 other direwolf names which haven't been chosen yet, which are Summer, Shaggy Dog, and Lady. So no one wants to rename themselves that, apparently. So we're gonna see if anyone actually decides to rename themselves. Sounds like some people already used their name changes, but I think it'd be really badass if we just had a team full of names in reference to that book series because it's badass. I think to be named after direwolves from Martin's series, which is the best book series I've ever read. I think. At least best fantasy series, but that's my favorite series or type of genre. So, anyways, there's been a little bit of funky stuff going on. I've been doing some harassment with my wings, trying to kill his Paladin. Didn't quite finish it off, unfortunately. So, right now I'm just going to be joining up and figuring out it. EpicNine is going to be taking his +1 attack. It looks like he might go for some kind of timing attack, or just getting upgrades for the hell of it. Doing robotics facility, which is very good against their, because leads to all kinds of good stuff, such as observers to find out what the Zerg is doing, and warlords to counter roaches, and of course the ultimate anti-Zerg unit. Well, it's anti everything unit, I guess. Really good against all matchups is the Colossus. Anyways, I'm taking my third, of course. Something I like to do against Protoss a lot because I feel like their units are really slow moving early on in the game for the most part. Especially when they expand, I know I don't have to worry about really anything happening. Anything serious happening that I can't defend happening until the gateway is done, or the warp gate tech is done, which takes a little while if you go forward first. So I know about until the 8-minute mark or so. I'm pretty safe to just be expanding and joining up, spreading creep, building a tech, whatever I want to do. But I made a few links here in case he tries anything funny like chrono boosting his gateways before the warp gates, or I guess he does have warp gate tech done now, so he could be starting to warp and stuff, so I want to make sure nothing's coming the other way. So I have full map control again. I've killed the zealots that have been poking out to see what's going on. Of course, I like to all in a lot, so I like to be unpredictable. I don't like to all in a lot. I just like to do stuff that I'm not used to or not expected to, because I feel like that's a better way to play than just being like, oh, I'm always gonna macro or always gonna do some kind of cheesy build. I want to mix it up a lot and do a lot of both. So EpicNine's a little bit worried. He's got a couple of cannons up here. This map's kind of hard, I guess, kind of hard to hold. Poor Jeffy, I'm not sure why he hasn't blocked this entire ramp off. Looks like I'm going to be able to sneak in here. My serving speed's almost done, not quite. He's going to be wasting some force fields though. I pick off, looks like I'm going to try to pick off this pylon, which will work. It looks like he could have force fielded some more, which he's doing now. But he's going to lose a sentry. He's going to lose two. Oh wow, he lost both sentries. Okay, so that's actually really good for me. He now has no sentry energy at all on the field, so he's going to have to move out. Looks like his timing attack with, how many gates is this? 7 gates, 1 robo. He's going to have no units on the field. Absolutely nothing. Except for, oh, I missed something here. Yeah, he got warped in. He has a warp prison up here with a bunch of zealots, which he is actually going to be quite successful with this attack, it looks like. He's going to try to snipe down my lair, which is an interesting choice. I'm not sure why he chose to do that, but wow, he's actually going to... Zealots do have a +1 attack, so they're almost +1 armor as well, so they're going to be pretty tough to deal with. As for me, I don't think I have any, like, yeah, I got a Spire, so I didn't get any upgrades for my ground units. And wow, my lair is going to go down. The spine collar's right out of position. I'm going to lose, looks like I'm going to lose a lot more than that. I'm going to lose the spawning pole. So no more layer units, no more Zerglings, which kind of sucks. But I do have some in production that were in production before that spawning pole went down. He's also going to try to snap my Spire here. We'll see if that works or not. I'll lose that, I'm in big trouble, which, yeah, I mean, I'm going to lose that. So I now have no layer, no spawning pole, and no Spire, which means I cannot make a single unit except for a drone. Looks like, yeah, I have nothing else, no other kind of tech, so I'm going to have to redo all that, rebuild my spawning pole, which I don't think I even realized for the longest time that I lost, and get my layer back up, and then get a Spire up to make any more kind of tier 2 units. But I'm going to be moving back here. I don't know why I didn't chase this warp prison down. I guess I didn't quite see it. Oh god, I could have killed it. Instead I'm going to be doing... I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Looks like I'm looking to do some harassment, but I know, of course, there's all these friggin' photon cannons back here. So I'm just going to be poking the front here. Not really controlling these meters, I guess. I don't know why I'm trying to attack a gateway, but... wow, he has, like, no units. Right now he's sending out a warp prism again. But there's really no units here for him. He's going to try to get some more stalkers out of it, I assume. For some reason I'm electing to attack the Nexus, which is probably pretty stupid. I should just take out pylons. Obviously he's going to warp in enough stalkers to clean this up eventually. So yeah, he's got that now. I'd imagine he's getting Twilight Council at some point to get some blink stalkers to deal with Neoliths. Because Neoliths are a really pesky unit to deal with his Protoss. It's really hard to have the mobility to deal with mass Neoliths. However, I can't make any more, so this mass Neoliths ball is going to get too out of control, but I'm being annoying. shutting down 3 of his gateways and a robotics facility. Meanwhile, he's warping in war units up here, doing a little bit more damage, killing some workers. Units lost. Tab. I've lost. Wow, I've lost 18 workers, 53 units. It's quite a bit, but I've just been joining up, so I'm still on 60. Just still joining up now on 3 bases again. So I'm gonna have a macro advantage, it looks like, because he's not trying to take a 3rd base, because he really can't with the Mutalisk on the field. I feel like with this many stalkers, though, he could take a 3rd base, but I don't know. It's gonna be hard because he has this weird wall off here on this ramp, so it's gonna be hard for these stalkers to move out in between his bases until he gets blink. She's gonna be researching right now as we speak, so he'll probably take blink, and then once he gets blink, maybe he'll move out and take his 3rd base. But he does are really good against Rush, just because not just because they do damage straight up, but they just keep Protoss on 2 base for so long. I feel like if you can control them well. Finally, gonna be cleaning this War Prism up, which is way overdue to be killed by these mutas. And what am I making right now? Finally finishing my layer, so I'm not really making anything. Getting a new spire up. And it looks like EpicNine's moving out to deal some damage. This is a lot of stalkers, and they have 2 upgrades, 1+1+1, and my Mutalisks do not have any upgrades. And I have a spawning pool, so I can make links, which would be a good counter to these supporting the Mutalisk, of course. Lings supported by Mutalisk, pretty good counter to only blink stalkers. If he has zealots in the mix, then it's a lot harder, but if he's not, he only has stalkers, so I actually saw this coming with the watchtowers, but I did not happen to throw these spine collars over time, so I'm going to have to cancel them and retreat out of this 3rd and let it die, because I'm not going to have enough to defend that attack by any means. I have a lot of money saved up because I haven't been able to build anything but drones, which I'm finally just spent all my money. I had like 3,000 minerals, 2,000 gas. I just finally spent it all getting 31 Hydralisks and the range upgrade for Hydras, so that's a lot of Hydralisks. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know what he's going to have to deal with that, because 31 Hydralisks is a shitload of Hydras. Oh, he's getting storms, so that actually might be really good if he can get some storms out of my Hydras. Hydras, of course, very weak unit. They have extremely high DPS and good range, attack air and ground, but their one weakness is their speed off creep and their 2 weaknesses. So their speed off creep and their light status, and they're killed very easily by pretty much anything. So we'll see what happens if he can get some storms up on those Hydras. They won't be able to move out of the way very quickly off creep, so that could do a lot of damage. Storm is almost done. Okay, it's done now. I'm sure he's making some Templars. However, these Templars do not have enough energy. This one Templar does not have enough energy to do anything really, so I'm gonna move in here. Do a lot of damage to his stalker count. Looks like these Hydras just want to clean up. Can't really blink micro against Hydras because they're so high DPS. It's kind of hard to pull back your weak ones with that many Hydralisks. He is doing a pretty good job of it, to be honest. Actually, it's a pretty damn good job. He's hardly lost any stalkers. But of course, I have too many Hydras, so push that force back a little bit. Just gonna wait for Blink to cool down and try again. Hopefully get some shield energy back on some of the stalkers. I'm gonna move right into his main here, get the high ground on him. And now I have links funneling in behind this, so it looks like I have a few more workers than him, not much, but just that I've been on 3 base for a little while. He killed my 3rd base, but I'd been on it long enough to get some. Well, not really that. I had a lot of money saved up, so I could build a whole ton of units to attack him with. That's what happened. If he had been able to kill me before, he should have really, I think, pushed out when he sniped all of my structures, because I couldn't produce anything but drones. So he should have like moved out with maybe a little bit earlier and just kind of forgotten about my mutas, like do a base trade and win the game with stalkers or something. But he did not do that, so he's now in this really tough position. He's way behind me. I have like 50, 75 more supply than him. better income. Yeah. And it doesn't look very good for EpicNine right now. So trying to get some storms out on my army, but he didn't really make the Templar that he needed to make to get any storms out. He had turned into Archons instead. Kind of a panic mode. But now I'm just destroying his infrastructure. I don't know what else he can do. I have roaches too now to deal with the Archons, so he's still trying to warp in, but there's nothing really left that he has to do. I'm taking a 4th base now, and this game should be over pretty soon. Yep, that's the end of it. Another game that actually wounded up quite a bit like this one, actually. It's kind of interesting. So we'll see how the strategy works against him. Usually EpicNine defeats me pretty handedly in a lot of games, so I actually beat him 3 out of 4 I think tonight, so that was really good for me. So I'm going to try some more of this kind of strategies against him with the Mutalisks early on. Getting a few links out. My main problem against him is I usually forget he likes to do a little bit of scouting and stuff with a bunch of zealots in the beginning of the game. So I usually don't have any links out, and I actually take a lot of damage from those early scouting zealots, and I lose because of that, or because of a timing attack, which I'm not ready for by the time he attacks. After he does a little bit of damage with his initial attack, so we'll see. I'll just make a few more Zerglings, try to be more safe, better decision making, and hopefully I'll be a better player by the end of it. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.